Welcome to Extraordinary Creatives. I'm Kerry Hand, 35 years as a gallerist, curator and institutional director, now coaching artists and creative leaders to build creative lives that reward them. 2 episodes a week on audio and video, an honest conversation with an extraordinary creative about their work and their life, and a shorter deep dive into the mindset and strategy questions creative people actually face. Thanks for being here. Let's get into it. This episode is part of a 9-part series on commissions, how to prepare for them, respond to them, deliver them, and crucially, how to stop them burning you out. If you haven't followed the podcast yet, please hit follow or subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Today is episode 3 of 9, the first practical stage of the commission process, your commission ecosystem. In episode 1, we did the mindset work. In episode 2, we named the 5 mistakes that almost every underpriced commission has in common. And today we start building the structure. Here's the principle. Stage 1 of any serious commission practice is the invisible work, the 4 decisions you make in advance before any inquiry arrives. These decisions form what I call your commission ecosystem. Build it once, revisit it annually, let it do the work of saying no so you don't have to do it in the moment. Why does that matter? Well, because the moment an inquiry arrives, your nervous system will want to say yes. The ecosystem, written down in advance, is the only thing standing between that yes and the resentment you could feel 6 months later. 4 decisions. Let me walk you through each. Decision 1. Your annual target. How much do you want to earn from commissions? Write the number down. Actually write it, not just roughly, but specifically. Your annual target is what you need to earn in profit from commissions over the next 12 months. Not turnover, not gross income, profit. The money that's actually yours after materials, fabrication, studio overheads, insurance and tax. Most artists have never done this calculation. They have a vague sense of what their year needs to produce. They price each commission under the pressure of that vague sense. That pricing that results is unsurprisingly also vague. Specificity, I can never say that word, but it changes everything. Here's what it looks like in practice. A portrait painter I know has built a beautifully legible commissioning document that shows 6 finished works at 6 different price points, running from under £500 for a small coloured pencil piece up to £2,500 for a large oil in a bespoke frame. A client looking at that page can see the range instantly, and the artist can do the maths on her year. 4 large commissions at £2,500, plus 3 medium works at around £1,000, plus a handful of smaller pieces, and she's already inside her target. The target gave her the maths. The maths gave her the calm. A brand designer I know runs the same maths in a completely different market. Her tiers are 4,250, 6,500 and 9,500. 3 clients at her top tier, or a mix of mid and top, and her year is made before a single brief lands. Your numbers will be different. The principle is the same. The year is the unit, not the commission. Once you know what the year needs to earn, every individual commission conversation becomes easier because you know what you're measuring against. Decision 2. Your menu. 3 tiers, small, medium, large, with a real difference between them. This is the structure that allows a client to place themselves inside your practice before you speak. The tiers make it possible for them to see at a glance where they fit, what they can afford, and what level of engagement they are buying. Small, entry level, a light adaptation of an existing body of work. 1 meeting, 1 review, faster turnaround, limited revisions. A first-time commissioner's way in. Medium could be the core tier, where most commissions will sit. A developed variation of your practice, more research and development, more client involvement. Maybe 2 reviews, a sample stage, delivery and presentation plan. And then large is the ambitious tier. Site responsive, deep research, substantial studio time, multiple stakeholders, complex fabrication, longer timeline. When you're building your tiers, the tension to avoid is collapsing them so they look too similar. If your small is 4,000 and your large is 5,000, the client can't feel a meaningful difference. If your small is 4,000 and your large is 20,000, the difference is legible. They can place themselves. Public art examples help illustrate the top tier. Artists like Alex Chinnock, who's been on the podcast, whose large-scale public sculptures across the UK and internationally involve multi-year processes, engineering collaboration and substantial stakeholder management. Or Shazad Darwood, whose ambitious research-led commissions for biennials and major public projects sit at the most complex end of what a commission can be. Large tier is not just a bigger version of small, it's a different kind of practice. So these are just some illustrative figures. Yours will vary by discipline and career stage. The principle is the same. 3 tiers, a real difference between them. So a client can place themselves inside a structure that you've already built. Decision 3, your rules, what you will never do again. What you secretly want more of, what aligns with your current body of work and what pulls you away from it. This is the personal, specific list. It's yours. Nobody else is going to have quite the same one. Your never again list might include commissions under a specific figure. Commissions where the brief is vague or that require you to travel on weekends, or where the partner of the primary commissioner has not been in the initial conversation because you've learned from hard experience that you end up redoing the work when they see it for the first time at delivery. Commissions with tight deadlines that you know will push you into burnout, or commissions from clients who negotiated hard at the inquiry stage because you've learned that negotiating rarely stops. Your secretly want more of list might include work that sits in public space, work that takes you into collaboration with architects, designers or engineers, work with a community consultation phase, work that travels, work that doesn't travel, long-term commissions that unfold over years. The producer Sherry Dobbin, also a guest on the podcast and whose career has spanned some of the most significant international public art programmes of the last 2 decades, has talked about how the strongest artists she commissions are the ones who know their own creative terrain. Not because they're rigid, because they're clear. Clarity makes an artist easier to collaborate with, not harder. It gives the people commissioning them something stable to work with. Your rules, written down in advance, are the only thing standing between that yes and the resentment that you'll feel 6 months later if it all goes tits up. Decision number 4, your internal clarity. Materials you actually enjoy using, scale you can realistically deliver, time you're honestly willing to give. This is the bodily, practical layer underneath the rules. What you can do, what you want to do, and what it actually costs you to do. For a portrait painter, this might look like watercolour and coloured pencil for smaller work, or oil for larger commissions, a maximum of 2 sittings per commission, studio-based only unless travel is built into the fee. For a brand designer, identity and positioning work only, no ongoing content retainers, projects delivered over 12 to 16 weeks, no rush fees. For artists working at the scale of Alex Chinnock or Shazad Darwood, this clarity extends even further. Team size, fabrication capacity, acceptable timescales, the scale of project they'll take on and the scale they politely decline, even when the budget would say yes. If a commission requires you to work every weekend for 3 months, know that before you say yes, not in the middle of month 2. So you have a target, menu, rules and clarity. That's your commission ecosystem. Build it once, revisit it annually. Let it do the work of saying no so you don't have to do it in the moment. If this stage is missing, everything that follows becomes messy, emotional and underpaid. If it's in place, everything that follows becomes a series of relatively simple decisions against a framework you already trust. So before next week, 3 pieces of homework. Number 1, write down your annual profit target for commissions. Not roughly, specifically. Number 2, draft your 3 tiers. What could they be? Small, medium, large, with real numbers and a real difference between them. They don't have to be perfect, but they have to exist. 3. Write your rules list. What you will never do again, what you secretly want more of. 10 items minimum, 20 if you can. This is the work. Nobody else can do it for you, but once it's done, every inquiry that arrives from that moment onward lands into a structure that already knows how to respond to it. Next week, in episode 4, we move into the second part of the series, responding to commissions. An inquiry has arrived, what do you do? I'll walk you through the initial inquiry filter, the 7 questions you ask every prospective client before you give them any more of your time, the secondary qualification and the chemistry call, the 30-minute conversation that's not a sales call but a fit test, and the 3 questions you're quietly asking yourself throughout. If you don't want to miss it, please hit follow or subscribe so it lands in your feed automatically. Thank you for spending this time with me. If something in this episode landed for you, please share it with one person who needs to hear it. Come and find me on Instagram at kerryhand, that's CERIHAND, and join thousands of creatives reading my weekly newsletter at kerryhand.com/subscribe for practical advice you can use this week straight to your inbox every Friday. Until then, keep making the work that only you can make.